Okay, guys, here's the challenge for today. One is filming these videos for you guys by myself, which creates somewhat of a issue because I am 6'7". I have to tilt the camera higher up than most people so it doesn't chop my head off. So therefore, depending on the angle, what we're looking at, if I set something on the ground, you may not catch it all. If I move the camera farther away, you may not be able to hear me. So yeah, that being said, we have a new item that just arrived, hot off the press. I don't know who else is running these, but as soon as I saw this come available, I literally jumped on it. Now, let's open the box up. It just arrived. It said it had to be signed for, but when I got home, it was already there. And that's a thing. It's not a thing, I should say, because working in the delivery business, sometimes during COVID, we weren't able to get a signature for some things, so we had to do what we had to do to make sure you guys get your product. Wait, I'm gonna get in shape for you guys. No, that's not what this is. What is it? This is the Steeda Ford Escape Maverick. It'll fit either one. I believe it might even fit the, I'm not sure about the Bronco Sport. But this is the Ford Escape Maverick Strut Tower Brace. These are brand new, they just came out. Steeda is manufacturing these. Hats off to Steeda for getting these new products out. And I knew when I saw them begin to roll out their products that they always put out quality stuff. They're not going to sell you something that you're not going to be happy with because they value you as a customer. So shout out to you guys over there at Steeda Performance because you guys rock. So we're going to get this cut open and then we're going to do an installation. They've got this very well packed. I promise you the way they packed this, it was never going to be scratched up or arrive to us in bad shape. Hopefully we got some directions with this thing. Even though we kind of, yeah, we're going to use directions if they're in it. It should be pretty straightforward though. We'll open this up and then we'll see. Well packaged. Well packaged. It's got some hardware taped to this one end. Looks like simple installation hardware, and it is 2 bolts, 2 washers, and 2 zip ties. So we should be able to handle that, right? Strut Tower Brace. And what is a Strut Tower Brace going to do? Well, if you watched the last video, I was talking to you guys about what direction that we're going to take the Maverick in. And we're going to do kind of a daily driver slash better performance vehicle. We're not going to call it a spot on performance vehicle because we're not going to do some things that others might do to theirs as far as if they want to bring it to a performance level. And that's just because this is our daily driver. Be careful if you use a razor blade like I just did, that you don't cut beyond this first plastic film, because you don't want to put a big long line scratch in your brand new powder coated Strut Tower brakes. So I'm being very careful. Alrighty, got a mess here though. And you hear a lot of the banging and spraying and all kinds of equipment going on in the neighborhood. If you guys tuned into some of the earlier videos, you know we had quite a big snowstorm a few weeks back, and we're still cleaning up from it. There were so many trees down in my neighborhood that they had to have basically a task force to come in here and remove all of the broken and torn up trees. I mean, it literally looked like a hurricane had been through here. And I think a lot of that had to do with the way that it hit. And it was right after a day much like today. And today it is, here in Virginia, it is going up to around 65, 66 degrees. And that's me. I love it. I'm not a cold weather kind of guy. I'm a warm weather person. So yeah, I can appreciate those of you all who love snow, but don't get mad at me when I tell you that I don't. All right, so we have all the initial wrapping off, and then it is also sealed in a plastic bag. So yes, Steeda, more power to you for making sure these products arrive to us beautifully packed. All right, this is the Strut Tower brace. We're going to install it, and if you see, it even has the official Steeda right in the middle. I like it. It looks like a quality piece. I'm loving it, matter of fact. So let's see if we can find some instructions or some information on how to install it. It shouldn't be that hard. Pretty much it's going to be taking out one of the strut bolts, dropping this in place, and putting just bolting it down, and probably zip ties are to move some wires or hoses out of the way so that it doesn't interfere. So let's get to the installation. Okay guys, in order to install the Strut Tower brace, the first thing that we did was to remove the ventilation tube. And what you're going to do is basically pull this up, and it'll snap out and it'll pop out. Both ends, what we're going to do is locate this to under these two brackets, these two hoses here. How easy or hard is that going to be? Just twist it around, slide it up under. Okay, slide it up under. Okay, alrighty. Now we'll move this here like that, push that back on, snap it back in place, and put the other side on. So this basically just repositioning things just a little bit. We'll snap this one back in place too. Snap it back in, clip it, everything's hunky-dory. We're going to take and zip tie those after we get the Strut Tower brace in place. So I did that first. You're really supposed to undo these bolts first, but we're going to go ahead and do that now. So it's the two inner bolts. You'll notice them because there is a hole for each of them. They are silver. So we're just going to undo that. And the other one over here. Now we're going to set the Strut Tower in place, and then take the hardware that we've been given and the washers and put this Strut Tower brace in place. Now you can only put this on one way, because when you sit it in here like this, the Steeda logo is going to be pointing directly at you. What we're going to do is slide this under this hose. Let's see. Let's go in from the other side. Slide it in this way. Be careful of the battery. Don't touch the battery post. Slide it in. Sit it on both sides. Now, when you put it back in there, of course, if you notice, you'll be looking directly at the Steeda logo. Looks good. It's black powder coated. So, yeah, nice looking piece. because you want the under hood to look nice besides everything else. So now we're going to take the hardware that they sent with the brace, basically 2 bolts and 2 washers. And we do have the zip ties too. We're going to use those in just a minute to zip tie those other hoses and wires up out of the way, make sure we don't interfere with anything. So you're going to slide that back in the hole, and what you're going to do is get them hand started. Get both of them started. Hey, how you doing? So you're going to get that one started and come over this side and get the other one started. Always easy said, right? Okay, there we go. Get that one started. Start that one down in there. I always like to get a few more threads in. I'm just paranoid about stripping stuff out. That seems like it's going in, but it's not going in as easy as the other one. There we go. Now it's going in. Once you have enough threads to know that, yeah, you're in there properly. Now you don't have to use power tools. I am, because I've gotten lazier in my in my older life. We're just going to run these down, not so they're tight, but snug. We'll do this side some, and then we'll do this side some, back and forth. All right, that's snug. That side is snug, and then we're going to go back and torque those to 30 foot-pounds so that we are within specs. Now we're just gonna knock these down tight. 30 foot-pounds is all. That's not that tight, so. And I've hit my fender a couple times. And do what they tell you in the directions. Put something protective over your fenders so that you don't tap them like I did. I didn't hurt anything, but don't do as I say. Don't do as I do, do as I say on that one. I never tell my kids that. Alrighty. Strut tower brace is installed. So now we're going to save the old bolts. You never know when you're going to need some of these things to go back. But that is the strut tower brace installed. Easy peasy. Now the other thing that came with the kit is the zip ties. So we're going to use this to kind of zip tie these things out of the way a little bit. There's really nothing in the way. I mean, it fits in there pretty snug. It's not really interfering with anything other than this here. I think I'm going to zip tie this up off of the engine a little bit so that it's not rubbing on anything. Other than that, it's a really simple deal. There we go. Perfect. And we want to make it look neat, so we're going to just cut this little zip tie piece off of here. There we go. Strut tower brace installed. You can probably get this done in about 15 minutes or less. But yeah, our first handling performance mod. Done, signed, sealed, and delivered. Perfect.